Good evening. Cassandra Joan Butler along with you for the Cosmic Connections. And this is an important day. This is, depending on where you live on the planet, this is fall equinox or spring equinox. And I want to welcome you to just a little free form discussion about astrology and some spiritual messages which we'll be sharing. And my dear friends, I'm also known as Agent 56 with the Cosmic Intelligence Agency, a proud member of that collective that's across the globe. Very proud member. I put the link of Cosmic Intelligence Agency on the intro here, along with my link for my website. If you're new to this, we try to connect around Wednesday evenings Eastern Daylight Time. I'm coming to you from Buffalo, New York, and different parts of the world have different times, of course. But wherever you may be, let's talk about balance. We welcome Libra, the sign of the scales. We welcome relationship, the sign of balance. We also are seeing things differently under the light of the Pisces full moon that took place this past weekend. So please say hello and let me know where you're coming in from. And thank you for sharing. Oh, look at Rose beat me to it because sharing is caring. And I appreciate you so much sharing this live webcast. And whomever shares will receive a written transit report that's based on your personal astrology chart, your personal natal chart. So welcome. Wow. I'm a little late on the uptake tonight. And I think because there's a part of me that, and I'm very sincere about this. I love speaking with you every single Wednesday. I love interacting. I love the communication. After all, I'm a Sagittarius North Node, conjunct Saturn at 0 degrees, square Pluto at 0 degrees. More on that later. And so it gives me great pleasure to kind of distill some comments and observations of 30 plus years worth of astrology work and many more years than that being alive on the planet. I digress. Today represents a time of balance. And I think my little reluctance and so forth was mixed with some emotion because not only do I do astrology, but I'm also a medical professional, a licensed medical professional in New York State, and massage therapist, doing rehab work with many people over many years. Been doing that since 1995. Oh my, how the time flies. Well, many people that I know, both clients and colleagues, are in trouble, friends. Not just from the V. And I do know, I want to put a big shout out to a dear friend of mine. I posted her on my Facebook page, and she is asking for prayers as she recovers from the V. But also I know many people whose lives are upside down because they're facing the extinguishment of their lives as they know it, because, and this is happening, I think, primarily in New York State. I'm not sure about the rest of the world, but because of the mandate of the V for the V, they will no longer be employed. And interestingly enough, a lot of their charts do indicate heavy-handed Pluto, Saturn action, etc. But enough of that for a minute. My request to you tonight is for prayers for a lot of us, not just the people who share your point of view concerning the V for the V. As a medical professional, I have seen a good at least 20 people who've been seriously injured from the V from the V. Notice how I have to say V for the V, by the way. It's only because we're being listened on by this big bot in the sky, and the big bot, B-O-T-S, can I say bot? The big bot in the sky extinguishes my free expression, which my Sagittarius North Node just gets so riled up about, because I'm just sharing my observations as a licensed professional in New York State. I've seen many people injured. And yes, I've known people who have passed away from the plane V. But be it as it may, the astrological message of tonight is where you find Libra. Get fired up, because Mars is there too. Mars is connecting with this autumnal equinox, and it's stirring up the pot, and it's asking us to take a stand for balance. And the full moon, by the way, the Sabian symbol that we're seeing in the dark, the full moon in Pisces at 28 degrees of Pisces, its Sabian symbol is saying light that's passing through a prism is illuminating various colors, multiplicity and unity. Those are the two messages, my friends. I am so sick of the horror show and the anger against the people who are not taking the V for the V. That's usually how the anger is generated. We're all in this together. And I am really sick of the bot in the sky that won't let people know what's going on. That's real. We can't talk about what we're seeing in our everyday life, or we may risk censorship. Does that not get you riled up? Does it not get you riled up that the same medical people that may have saved your mother's life during the height of the V crisis is now losing her job because she will not get the V? And you know what, friends? When people don't get the V, it's not because they're being rabble-rouser rebels or angry people against the establishment. There's very real reasons why people resist getting the V. Yeah, religious reasons, and very many for medical reasons. And how about this? Maybe people don't want to have the bot in the sky telling them what to do with their bodies. There's lots of reasons. So I'm a little fired up today, and that's why I think I'm a little late, because I was afraid that if I tell you my truth about my aggravation about what this is happening, you might not like me. But I'm saying I don't care. I'm tired. I deserve to be not liked. I deserve to have an opinion. And right now, Mars is at the point of the autumnal equinox, and we are fighting for balance, every one of us. That is the linkages that connects us around the world. Whether you're for the V or against the V, who cares? We are in trouble. Some of our most loyal, talented, competent medical people are walking out, or they're taking a V that may make them ill. I know this is personal, but someone in my own family needed to take the V, and she's in the hospital right now. She's having a brain bleed. Now you can tell. You can say, "Well, Cassandra, you're telling untruths, or no." It's just my personal experience, and I'm worried about not just what's happening in the world, but how we're not balancing and accepting each other for each other's opinions. Oh boy. So everyone, my question of the week for you is, how are you going to rebalance your life? The call of Libra is asking us, is pushing us with Mars up against that point to rebalance our life. Equal day and equal night only happens twice a year, and the equinox, and yay, I celebrated with a dear friend. We had lunch today, and she offered and she shared with me a moon cake. So here's a really cool meditation or really cool exercise for us all to do at some point. I might not do it tonight because I've already overspoke my boundaries here. But I would suggest that you might gaze at the losing light of the moon, the waxing moonlight as it's full across the planet, and perhaps imbue it and ask of that moment meditation, how can I rebalance my life in a more productive way? It's like we're fighting for peace. Mars at 5 degrees of Libra up against the autumnal equinox is asking us to be fired up and to fight for some sort of balance in our lives. I want to share with you the Sabian symbol that happens every fall equinox. In a collection of perfect specimens of many biological forms, a butterfly displays the beauty of its wings, its body impaled by a fine dart. Pretty esoteric, right? I'm quoting here from the Mark Edmund Jones book, the original interpretation of the Sabian symbols. This is how it's being described here. It's the idea, and they're taking in some of the Christian symbolism. They're talking about this butterfly, i.e., being impaled by the ray of divine light, making the butterfly a son of God. It was at this very moment that he learned of the crucifixion awaiting him. Thus, the merely human individual is made sacred, becoming the pure embodiment of an archetype. The idea of a perfected butterfly. You understand, friends, back in the 19th century, butterfly collection and impaling these gorgeous creatures was a high-level sport. I don't know if people do that at all anymore, but they would collect these specimens. So please keep this in the context of the late 19th century, early 20th century. But the idea symbolically that we have a perfect butterfly, which represents the outcomes of discipleship, because we just left Virgo, and Virgo is the sign of perfection. And at 0 Libra, we are talking about this perfected butterfly, but one of the wings has an impale on it. And I feel that's what we're dealing with across the planet, the sense of impaling situation, that we're all suffering in some ways. We're suffering, again, big heartfelt prayers to my dear friend Kathy. She's asked me to invoke your prayers and blessings as she recovers from the V. So in any case, this symbol is talking about there is no real perfection, but yet we are all sacrificing something. And where transfiguration is implied by this fall equinox all the time. The idea of standing in the brink of a new season, half light and half dark. And that's the thing I want to talk about. The other thing I want to talk about is the two hemispheres of our brain and how I'm seeing the discourse and the discord between I'm right, you're wrong. I'm right, you're wrong. That is so yesterday. Libra is asking us to balance between the different opinions. Meanwhile, in our full moon chart and in the chart tonight, we've got a grand trine in air. We have Saturn at the pinnacle, Saturn, grumpy old man. You can make an argument Saturn is the elites and Saturn is the authority and Saturn is rules and Saturn is things that we have nothing to say about, karma, or the point of limits and structure in our lives. So there's Saturn up there, and Saturn's talking to Mars, is making this little triangulation, and it's soon going to be triangulating the sun when sun reaches around 4 degrees of Libra. And then the other leg of the grand trine is the North Node, and the North Node is being hugged by Black Moon Lilith and Ceres. Let me explain what that all means. So picture a triangle in the sky. We got Saturn. We've got the North Node, which is moving forward in time and space in the collective. And then we've got Mars, which is action, 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 action. So in this grand trine, it's in the sign of air. And air is about communication and rhetoric and speaking and talking and divisiveness and data and trying to make sense of it all. All right. Keep in mind that Black Moon Lilith is hugging Ceres, the asteroid of food, clothing, and shelter. At the same time, what that means, Black Moon Lilith is a little snarky. She doesn't mind tripping people up. She's often motivated by rage, and she's often motivated by revenge. And she's not the nicest asteroid in the collection. She's got her fabulous points too. Please understand, she's feisty and fearless, and she's a feminist. But sometimes there's a dark side to the black moon Lilith. So in any case, this wonderful little triangle or grand trine is impelling us to let our impaling being shown, sharing it and talking about it and finding balance, because we are now in the autumnal equinox. So my question to you, how are you going to balance your life? Are you working too hard? Are you about to lose your job? You don't have a place to work? Are you having enough fun? Are you having enough relationships that are meaningful to you? These are some of the questions as we go through the season. Needing to balance. Meanwhile, Neptune is still hugging Pallas Athena. Pallas Athena, just, Reader's Digest version of her, she's the asteroid of the advocate, and she can also represent the career or work within our charts. With Neptune on top of Pallas Athena, that would imply a dissolving of jobs. What type of jobs, you might ask? Medical jobs. Why do I say medical jobs? Because that configuration is exactly opposite Hygeia. Hygeia is the asteroid, yes, that represents hygiene and is often very prominent in people in the medical field. So we've got that push-pull going on, and we've got that grand trine going on, and we have, of course, Mars coming up to the equinox, asking us and pushing us to balance in our lives. So there's a lot of messages out there in the cosmos, my dear friends. All right. Hello. I did not say hello to everybody, but I'm going to give a big hug to you all and ask you to find balance in your lives one way or another, because that's what the call of the universe is tonight. This is what this means for you individually. It's a Reader's Digest form of astrology. If you're Aries or Aries rising, this is about the full moon, by the way. We're seeing the dark. We're still in the full moon phase. So two things I want to get across to you. The butterfly impalement happens that image happens every fall equinox at 0 degrees of Libra. It's a very making sacred the way energy. Number two, we're seeing this time of balance under the light of this full moon at 28 degrees of Pisces. And we're going to talk about where that full moon falls in your chart. So if you're Aries or Aries rising, you're seeing a new perspective with your money, with your self-worth and value, with how you want to assert your many talents and gifts this week and beyond. For Taurus or Taurus rising, this energy is asking you to become a lot more mindful of how you speak, when you speak, your research. It may also inspire you, dear Taurus, to take care of your workspace in such a way that you become more organized and clear the clutter. That's for our Taurus friends. For Gemini, this particular full moon is lighting up your fourth house. The fourth house represents home and family and where I'm living and how I'm living. Do I want to, remodel or fix something, or do I need to move? Or do I need to do something within my family structure to have more balance and harmony there for our Geminis? For Cancer or Cancer rising, this full moon is asking you to see ways to become more creative and therefore have more joy in your life. It's really a focus on activating your inner child. For Leo or Leo rising, this is a great full moon for you to get healthier. It's in your sixth house. Do the work, do the necessary routines to create a more healthful diet, a more healthful exercise program. You'll be motivated to do that and motivated to find ways and people and inspiration to make that more successful in your life, Leo. For our Libras, I got everybody, right? No, Virgo, or Virgo rising. We never want to forget Virgo. This full moon is shining beautifully in your house of partners, your BFFs, your friends, your spouse, your, the concept of a relationship. Perhaps, Virgo, you're saying to yourself, it's time for me to find someone special, or to make that someone special more special by me catering to the relationship, not catering to the person, but by making that relationship more sacred. Maybe you want to cater to the relationship as well as the person. I don't know. It's up to you. I'm not going to do any shoulds here tonight. Except you should balance, and you should be aware and pray for all of us, the people who got the V's for the V, and the people who will not get the V's and are suffering such heavy-handed consequences, losing their job, losing unemployment, losing their health benefits. I have been bombarded with calls of help and support and prayer. We all need these prayers, my dear friends. Libra, time for you to dust off your inner power and to become a lot more cognizant of the ways you can activate your spiritual power and your emotional power, and yes, even your psychic power. For Scorpio or Scorpio rising, this particular full moon is shining a light in your area of your life, which represents communication and teaching and writing, and also expanding your environment to perhaps travel or to make a trip plans. Expand your life. That's your message, Scorpio. This week, start the ball rolling for getting out of Dodge. For Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising, this particular energy is asking you to take a leadership role in the career, or perhaps find a new job, or find some place where you can share your gifts more readily and with more self-assurance. Capricorn or Capricorn rising, this particular energy is asking you to get social. Remind yourself that you need people, and Capricorn can be a little dry, but it's time for you to connect with the people that mean a lot to you and have fun. Have fun with your social groups. If you are Aquarius or Aquarius rising, this particular full moon is shining a light in what we call your spiritual house, your house of meditation, your house of resting, your house of intuitive development. And a good word for Aquarius this week would be believe. Believe, believe, believe. And of course, all eyes are on Pisces. You're standing up for yourself in a new way, Pisces, with this full moon. You're luxuriating in the fact that you know things that sometimes you shouldn't know because you're so darn intuitive. And so happy full moon for the Pisces. All right. Thank you for the beautiful comments. Blessings from Quebec for you too. And just blessings. I was not always looking at the comments. I'm going to do that right now. And then we're going to do a little bit of a drawing for you beautiful people who have been sharing previously for this particular webcast. And then you will receive a transit report. And then, my friends, especially if you're new, I'm going to do some spiritual mediumship with you. I think it's also relevant for me to add this to your reflection. I did not put that in the links page. Let me get her name. Oh, man. I know the name of her book. My dear friends, just for fun, humor me. I have nothing to gain from this except the satisfaction of you learning something really cool. I've been teaching a psychic development class using astrology. And I recall from 1999, there was a book that came out. Her name is Dr. Jill, I think, and I'm going to mispronounce her last name, Boyle maybe, but just remember the name of the book. It's called A Stroke of Insight. This is very relevant to tonight's discussion. A Stroke of Insight. Has anyone ever seen that? Just Google it now. Leave me alone and go Google that and come back for the spiritual messages. A Stroke of Insight is talking about what I'm talking about tonight. The idea of balancing our intuition, our logic, and making peace with our fellow human beings by becoming more peaceful within. That's the message of Libra. This is a story about, I've got to get my basket here, so stay with me. This is a story of I'm going to slide over here. Be right back. She came prepared. Here's her basket. She's the story of a neuropsychologist and brilliant woman, Harvard trained, and she had a stroke. And in the middle of the stroke, at age 37, she was observing the two hemispheres and how they were working. And then the stroke occurred in her left side of her brain, and she has a fantastically transcendent experience because her right side of her brain realized that she, and everything is all one. Kind of like the dichotomy between Neptune and Saturn. Anyway, as we move through this beautiful Libra time of the year, please consider reading A Stroke of Insight. There's lots of Googles on that. Whoops. Okay, we don't need this. Okay, that was all right. So our winner for tonight's Sharing is Caring Award, you'll get a transit reward, is Jill O'Hara. Hello, Julie. Oh my gosh, that is so funny, Jill, because you just came up. I just saw your name and you just won. Isn't that funny? Jill Bolte. There you go. Thank you, Rebecca. Fantastic. You found it, Paul. Dr. Jill Bolte Taylor. Go watch it. This will give you inspiration like nothing else can during this time of year. And Jill, you won. Hey. All right. Very good. You never know. Lots of prayers, lots of prayers, lots of prayers for us all. Thank you for the prayers, Rachel. And the person that's close to me had gotten the V, and she's the V for the V. She got the V for the V. Hear that, bots? And she's in hospital right now. I have another dear friend, Kathy. She would also invite your prayers. She is recovering from COVID. I also have colleagues who got the V for the V, but they still got the V. V. It's a mystery, but let's have some compassion for us all. That's the point of this message tonight in Libra. Use both brains, guys. Don't just use the judgment brain. Don't use just the intuitive woohoo brain. One more thing. If you are in the neighborhood of Lilydale, New York, come on down to the TAG, the Astrology Gathering. That's also, I think, on my Facebook. They are also doing some virtual classes, fantastic group of astrologers. I'm very happy to be a part of that gathering this weekend. All right, my dear friends, let us do some mediumship. And how we do this, I simply close my eyes, say a prayer, and I invoke the right side of my brain. I'm going to tell you a little tidbit. Here's a little tidbit. I'm going to be teaching that in my elemental class on Monday. I'm going to give you, a secret. A secret. Oh, it's not that secret. When you are becoming intuitive and wanting to access intuition, a little technique you guys can do after meditation, or you're wanting to train yourself to have more right-brained information, place your eyes up to the ceiling, take a breath, close your eyes, relax, release, and let go. There's this technique in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, that can actually help enhance the neurons to connect with intuition by doing these simple techniques. It's maybe not so simple. You have to keep on doing them, but I'm going to do that right now as I say my prayer. Dear God, please allow me to serve. Please allow my words be filled with love and light, truth, inspiration, and healing for the highest and for the best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Amen. All right. I'm going to close my eyes and simply let my thumb do the, if you want to get a spiritual message, please say in the comments, I want a spiritual message. If you'd like to do that, that'd be great. And I'll see who comes up. Jacqueline, Bone Toes Lake. Jacqueline, are you with us? Show. It's Jacqueline Von Zulix. Von Zulak. Are you in the room, my dear? Jacqueline? And okay. Yes. All right, dear. As I'm tuning into your energy, I'm very aware of you having had a history in your lineage of, I want to use the word helpers, healers, helpers or healers. It's almost like as I'm tuning into you, I'm getting a whole stream of people from spirit who want to be recognized. And it's really easy to connect with them because you connect with them all the time. I'm seeing a grandmother. I'm seeing a great grandmother. I'm seeing an uncle. I'm seeing almost a stand or some sort of business with that. There's a lot of interaction with the public, but it's supportive services. I'm not going to go as far as saying that they're all medical, but they're supportive services. And that you, my friend, who I've never met, and I don't know where you're from, let us know where you're from in the world. But I'm picking up that you are very actively doing that same type of work that you were born into, but it's helping and assisting others on some direct skill level. I'm also picking up with you that I believe this was 2 months ago that you were maybe down in your energy. I'm not saying you had any disease of any stripe, but that you were running yourself. So I'm saying July and early August, there was a little difficulty with you being able to get up and go because you're a very fiery, active person, and that you've learned how to modify your energy field in such a way. Okay. And as a result, what's happening with you as we get into this beautiful time of Libra, you're maintaining that balance. And the word teacher comes to mind as well, whether you're teaching formally. I don't believe you are a formal teacher, but you're teaching by example. You have a lot of energy with you, Jacqueline, a lot of research skills. And I'm also seeing, I think it could be both dogs and cats around you. You're welcome to give me feedback, by the way. And you're welcome to say, Cassandra, you're really off. I'm okay with all of that because I'm just a little receiver, you know. One more thing, Jacqueline, I'm getting, I want to give yourself a big hug around your heart. And not literally the organ that's called the heart, but that you are sufficiently healed from some heartache with a disappointment with it's an emotional heartache, right? But you are able to forgive and forget because you have a great gift of empathic wisdom. Now there is a difference between empathy and empathic wisdom. Empathy is like every little thing you're feeling hurt. Wisdom is, oh, I understand why they're being a jerk because their daddy was a jerk to them, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so I hope some of this made sense. You're welcome to give some feedback, Jacqueline. And namaste to you. Namaste to you. I don't know what you do, but I feel that you teach or inspire a lot of people. And keep on doing that. And you've done a lot of heavy healing emotional work on yourself. But the trajectory is moving forward, my friend. And you're doing a lot of good work in the world. God bless you. All right, let's see another person here. Whoops. Okay, hide. All right, close my eyes. Well, this is weird. This usually doesn't happen, especially in a group this large. But there's someone named Frank. Before I'm going to do three things. I want to get the person Frank in spirit is coming through really, really loud and clear, and he wants to be recognized by one of you. So if someone can picture a Frank, he's got a little facial hair. It was something that he grew into in his older years because I'm feeling it's white, a very nicely trimmed beard. but Frank wants to be recognized. That I think he's recently passed in the past couple of months. It's like this white bearded person, very kind of intellectual, very kind hearted. Frank is coming through right now, and he wants someone who's really been thinking about him to acknowledge him. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Frank. All right. I'm with Linnell. Okay. Linnell, did someone just pass away this past year? Frank with the beard. Is that you? You're so welcome, Jacqueline, and thank you very, very much for the wonderful comments. Okay. Marie, your stepfather. I think I'm with your stepfather, Marie. Okay. I think I'm with Marie's stepdad. All right. Let me he wants to give you a message, Marie. He's saying two things. Number one, he's saying exactly that. He's saying that he is really your father, even though he was a stepfather. Do you understand? That he was so honored, and he's so in awe of the woman that you became. And he's very grateful that he says it was a little bit of he's talking about why he's coming into your energy right now tonight. He's thankful that you haven't let go of the lessons he taught you, which is about self-worth, which is about integrity, and it's also about standing up for yourself. He's giving you, because you're facing some challenges right now, Marie. Yes, I'm definitely with you, and with Frank. You are having some challenges right now, and there's a little bit fearfulness about expressing your throat chakra. And Frank is saying, "My gosh, remember what I taught you, girl. You can do this, and you can assert yourself, and you're grander and greater than you think you are." And there's some meeting or there's something that's very critical for you, Marie, that he's giving you a lot of hope and confidence from the other side of life. But he came in really strong. That generally I don't do that, but he wanted to be acknowledged, because especially the whole family is reeling because they're missing this Frank. He was a great, great force of good in the family. And sorry for your loss. Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. We're going to do one more the usual way. And okay. Diane Wilson, I'm with you, darling. Diane, you're still in the room, honey. Miss Diane. Diane Wilson. You're very welcome, Marie. You're very welcome. Hello, April. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you all for being here. Okay, I'm with your energy, Diane. You know, I've been very efficient with my time. We're going to do one more message. I'm going to do another little scroll. Okay, Diane. I'm going to say my prayer. And notice my eyes, guys. I put them up to the ceiling. You can do this. You can get messages for yourself. Eyes to the ceiling. We're in the Pisces full moon time of the year. Pisces represents intuition. Eyes to the ceiling. Close your eyes. Breathe in. Relax. Release. Let go. Receive. As I'm in your energy, Diane, I'm getting such an amazing peace and a deep sense of spiritual understanding about what is in front of you in the here and now. It's almost as if no matter who or what is in your life right now, your attitude, you're reframing this in such a beautiful, accepting way, because there's something creative going on with you, that your longing and yearnings for something above and beyond is now being satisfied by your creative self-expression. I happen to know Diane. I know that she's a wonderful creative artist, along with her brother. But I feel that you are doing something in the arts as well. Maybe you're actually doing some music, you're doing some poetry. And when you're doing this, all feels well. I'm also picking up for you, my dear, beautiful shades. No. Is there someone in spirit, Diane? I know this is not your mom, but is there another beloved female figure in spirit who used to knit? I'm feeling tangible. It might not have been even a relative. It could have been just a really close friend who loved to knit. I'm seeing blues and pinks, and she'd like to knit or make little baby garments, knitting little baby, I don't know, mittens or something. Because whomever I'm picking up is giving her blessings to you because you are that nurturer to other people. You knit words, you knit food, you knit social connections that help other people all the time. So this other female figure, I do not believe it's, but your mother wants to come in here, and she's coming in with a vengeance, and she's saying something about Halloween, and that she loved Halloween. She loved the idea of dressing up. She loved the parties. She loved the costumes. And she's just saying that you were always a treat. You know, the idea of trick or treat, but she's saying something about you are always the treat to the family with your smile and your giggles and your ability to do the happy dance. And there's something about dancing also here with you, Diane, that, I know wherever we are on the planet, sometimes it's a lot more difficult to get out and about and dance and have a good time. But Diane, your mom is saying, so you dance in the kitchen, that you need to have more dancing and music going on. So I'll leave that with God's blessings, Diane. All right. All right. Thank you. All right. All right. You guys are beautiful. Let's get into the balance time of the year, right? Left brain, right brain, bring them together. No judgment. You got the V, good for you. You didn't get the V, good for you. Your sovereignty is none of my business. What you think of me is none of my business either, although it kind of is. No, darn it. I have Mars on my ascending sign. I'm a Libra rising. That Mars is firing me up, and I'm like, whatever. My hair is not great tonight. I don't care. Whew. What is that girl on? Nothing. That's the problem. I didn't have enough coffee today. All right, one more read. I'm getting fired up, guys. That's what you get when you get a tired Cassandra. All she wants to do is go into her right brain, because the right brain never sleeps, Left brain has to sleep. I can't do calculus, but I can play with symbols right now. So the next person that we're going to talk to, come on, finger, find someone nice. All right. Deanna Willis Doris. Deanna Willis Doris. That has a beautiful ring to it. It's almost like a song. Deanna Willis Doris. DWD. Are you in the room, dear? DWD. Going once, going twice. DWD. I know you're in there. DW. Thank you. Thank you, Lois. Math what I love about astrology is geometry. I can figure geometry out. Okay. Thank you. Very kind comments here. Deanna, you're it. You're on. All right. Here we go. Dear God, please allow me to serve you, Deanna. Such a pretty name. Please allow my words be filled with love and light and truth, inspiration and healing for our highest and for our best as we align ourselves with the Holy Spirit. Deanna, I want to talk about you and your mom. I feel your mom is still on the earth plane, but I feel that there's been a lot of healing dancing with your mom. And I don't know if you're a mom, but I'm getting the word mom with you. I'm getting the word nurturing, taking care of yourself, mothering yourself, and forging a new type of relationship with your mom, if that makes sense. And all that stuff I was saying earlier about empathic wisdom, You are on a path, Deanna. I don't know if it's psychology or astrology or psychic development or who knows what, hobo. You're doing something for yourself, which is giving you a lot more understanding of the frailty of other people. And because of that knowledge, you are letting go of a lot of resentment. And I don't know, I'm talk about doing a psychic read on someone's chart. I don't know if you have Aries in your chart, but if you are an astrologer, but I'm getting Chiron, Aries, healing, mom. Those are the things I'm getting for you, my friend. And you've been doing well, and stay on the track and do some journaling and do some letting go work. Get some body work done. I'm seeing, I just feel like you're in this cycle in your life when you're just letting go and you're just expelling all the old stuff. If we knew Deanna Willis, Deanna Willis Doris, I love that name. If we had known you even 2 years ago, you'd be a different person. You're coming into this light-filled time in your life, and believe in that power of forgiveness and love. That's number one. Number two, I don't know if you have a concern. I'm getting a younger child. I think it's a boy. Could be a nephew, could be your own son. And you're very welcome, my dear. But I'm just getting this image with you. It feels more ethereal than not, that there's some concern. The message I'm getting for you, again, back to you mothering, whether this be a child or even a male animal, you are doing the right thing intuitively and instinctually. And you need also, I'm getting the word, opportunities to be alone, whether it be doing your workouts or doing your walking or doing your running, and letting go of that guilt. Because sometimes you over mother, and I don't necessarily mean mothering a child, but mothering, taking care of. You have to do a little separation so you could spend some time, I think specifically in nature. And I don't know why I'm seeing some hills and various topography, which I don't recognize. So I don't think you're in Western New York. I'm not sure where you are, but some really interesting hills, which I don't see around here in Western New York. Does that make sense? Okay. Does that make sense? All right. All right. Thank you. You love nature. Good, Deanna. Does this make sense? It makes sense. Okay, sweetie. Nurture and mother yourself. And you do that when you're in nature by yourself. Boy, you're a bird whisperer. You love the birds, and you can interpret them. You can interpret their calls, and they really speak to you. Okay, does that make sense? Love and light to you too. All right. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Rebecca. Would you be so kind? I did mention that. It's called the Astrology Gathering. I hope to see you guys there at Lilydale. I put that in the first part. I hope to see all of you there. And then we also will be doing virtual Zoom classes and all that good stuff. So I'll be talking on the moon manifestations, kind of like what I do here with you guys on Wednesday nights, how you can use the moon phases to manifest, number one. And number two, I'm talking about how, guess what, friends, we all incarnated during the Pluto-Neptune sextile of the 20th century and the 21st century. So all of us have this peculiar interest, even if we don't admit it, to things psychic, intuitive, and right-brained. We all have a propensity for that because of the grand conjunction of the 19th century that's unfolding as it should. If you are an astrologer, you knew exactly what I was talking about. If you're not an astrologer, that's cool. Come to the conference, listen to my lecture. You'll get it because I love talking about these cycles. Many blessings to you, my dear friends. It's time for us to say good night, and it's time for us to think about and reflect upon how we can better balance our lives. And I, for one, will be balancing my life. Here's my promise to you of getting more sleep instead of going down those rabbit holes, because not any one of us are responsible for the whole, but all of us are responsible for ourselves. And in taking care of ourselves, we individually affect the whole, and in such a way that even the bots can't control us. Good night. Sleep tight. Love you guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.